Hi guys, Rachel, Spunky Misfit girl here. Welcome back to part 2 of this flippy flappy ephemera holder journal thing. And I have all my envelopes and my paper piece covered, except for one, because I figured out how to solve the punch problem. So I'll show you that in a sec. Hopefully you watch all the way through everything before you start on yours. I also covered up my paper piece that folds out and decided to put this in the back because it isn't going to have a pretty front and cover. So I'm just going to put that in back here. So let's cover this last envelope here and show you that trick. And then we will put our envelopes together. I didn't want to do that because I was going to put this here, but that's okay. Put them on this side. And we'll cover our file folder to make our covers. I just did that without taking the tape off, you guys. I can't talk and craft at the same time. Such a hard life. All right. Talking and crafting at the same time. So we're going to cover just one side first and then use this sticky tape scissors just to carve out our punch. And this is how I did my last 3, and it actually works pretty well. So then on this guy, we're only going to glue a little bit on this side so we don't mess up our pocket. Actually, take our tape covers off and do the same thing on this side. Yay! Everything's looking so beautiful. I love covering up plain old envelopes with pretty papers. All right, and so that, for me, that was the best way. Still a pain because there's sticky tape there, but that was the best way to do these because my punch didn't want to go all the way through, so. There we are. That's the last envelope. So those are now ready. And we're going to put them together. This part is a little fussy. So you kind of have to look at how this is going to work. So you're going to want to put all of your pieces together like this in the order that you want them. So I'm going to kind of make sure that they're all sitting where I want them to sit. I wanted these two kind of closer to the bottom so that they can get some taller pieces in there like that. And then this guy I'm going to put back in the middle. Okay, so these are all going to get glued together just like this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and take just these bottom 2 and put these here for now so that I can, how did I do this? I guess the best way to do it is to just come like this. So I've got them on top of each other the way I want them, and I'm going to just glue the flap move the one on top to the one on bottom, right where I want it to go. Okay. Yeah. And then we've got our next guy. I'm keeping my others kind of together in the way that I want them. And I'm doing my next flap. That's just gonna sit right in there like that. Let's test him out. That's good. And this is extra. You can cut that off if you want. You don't have to. It's fine either way. Next two. I think I did this differently last time, which is why I'm a little confused. I flipped him over the way Norma did, but I actually think this works better because you can just see exactly where you're putting it. And this is all going to get covered up anyway, so it really, I don't think it matters. I don't think I'm messing something up terribly. I think I might be, but we'll find out. All right. Yeah, I think this was supposed to all be kind of on the back, but I think it will be okay. I tell you, I watched these videos 4 times. It's a bit fiddly. All right. Okay, guys, so this is future Rachel popping in here. As I was putting those envelopes together, I said, I think I'm doing this wrong, but it's gonna be fine. And it was fine. I did fix it, but it doesn't look as good. And you'll see in the later videos, it doesn't look as good if you do it that way as if you do it this way. So I'm popping this in here to show you what I messed up. So when you put your envelopes together, you're gonna want, not inside with the flap like this, but outside, like the flap, with the flap on the left still, but you want that kind of outside mountain crease like this, right? And then put your babies and everything else, however you're gonna do it, like this, on top of each other, not the front way that I had it. Because this will then make everything make sense when you go to attach them to your covers, okay? So then you have everything like this when you go to put things together. And what you're gonna wanna do is just like this. Glue them in one at a time. This flap of this first one gets glued to that guy. And that's where it kind of can get a little fiddly in terms of making sure that you're keeping things in the right place. You might wanna flip it back around one at a time and do that like that. And so then they're all gonna come together. I'm just gluing the flap. They're all gonna come together, but on the back side like this. And that's how they're gonna sit together. And then when you go to add in them in under your covers, you'll see in the next part, you're gonna put the, you're actually gonna put the cover, the inside front cover is gonna go in first. And that covers your spine. And then you will glue your flap in like this and put your inside back cover over the top of it, right? So that's the right way to put those envelopes together. So that's all of our envelopes put together. And now those guys need to dry. Norma actually stitched on her sewing machine hers, but I don't have a sewing machine. I thought about sewing mine in to the one I did before, but ultimately I kind of decided that I liked to not have a sewn edge and I wanted to try just gluing. So that's what I did and it worked out beautifully. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one and I'll show you how that worked. So those guys can be set aside for a bit. We want them to dry. And now what we need is our cover, our file folder cover. And we're gonna cover the outside with our papers. Now, what's easiest and what I did with this one is to just take a piece, cover the whole thing. You don't even have to cut it until after you glue it, and then you can cut it, and it looks really nice. And that's how I did this one. However, these papers that I have here had Alice, should have been on the back. So I'm gonna try something a little different with this one and actually do a spine. And I've cut these up so that Alice will be on the front. And I'm gonna that was too much. I'm gonna get the I just marked where the fold line was for myself so that I can hopefully get it easily. And I'm just gonna glue that on there and then I'm gonna put my, and these are too big, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball where I want my Alice. I think I kind of cut these ends to be right. Maybe we should cut that weird piece off the top there. I kind of like that. I'm going to put it like that. All right, here we go. Alice goes on. Probably should have inked the edges too. All right, let's cut that and see how it looks before we put the Mad Hatter on the back. Oh, Alice, a little close to the edge there, but that's okay. Maybe I can put an additional something on that side there. All right, since I didn't ink that edge on that side, I'm not going to do it on this side either. I'll do it around the edges out on the outside. Coming together, looking good. Now for your inside, you are going to have to do 2 separate pieces. Even if you sew, because you're going to want to hide your envelope flap when it goes in there. Ooh, I'm pleased with this, actually. That's very nice. Okay, so I have this piece that I pulled. It was not originally Alice, but I made it Alice with some stamping, and I made it the proper, about the right height. It's a little over. But so what I'm gonna do, I've marked it so that it goes a little bit over the spine so you won't have a gap. And I'm just gonna cut those in half. And I'm doing the front cover, the inside front cover, and over the spine. Now, if you're sewing, Norma was very insistent that you would want to let your envelopes dry for quite a while, and probably your covers too. So you didn't want to be sewing through the glue. But since we're gluing, I don't think it matters. I may have lost all of this pretty edging. I didn't put my Alice far up enough. Okay, cut these off too. Then So like I said, it's up to you. If you want to sew and you think you need to wait a little longer to let your envelopes dry, be my guest. Put me on pause, come back later. But if you're gluing with me, we're gonna put our envelopes in here. Gonna just do my corners again and ink my edges first because I think it'll be easier before my envelopes are in here. I'm using walnut stain, Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink, just in case you're kind of new. I might cut that edge down a little actually. The file folder got a little bit showing there. I think I'm gonna do it by hand here. It's just a skinny bit right there. Don't want to get covered. It's always amazing to me how simple envelopes, file folders, junk mail, various pieces of what are ostensibly trash can end up looking like a beautiful little book. I'm liking this one. Alice makes it better. I like that spine too, a lot actually. Maybe even more than the full page that I had on the other one. Might do that again. All right, so now you're gonna grab your envelopes again. Yes, and this is my problem. This is why I screwed it up. Shoot, I should have thought about that. Because the way that I did them before, they went in like this. And the way that I did them this time, they should have gone in like this, which still would have been fine if I would have done my cover. If I would have done I could have done my back like this. Shoot. All right, well, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I have another piece of this paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this guy in. I'm gonna cut this down so that it is the proper size, actually. I'm gonna make a new inside end paper to cover this up. And then we'll do another set. I can show you how to put the envelopes together properly. I knew I was messing it up when I was doing it too. Ridiculous. All right. Let's put her in there. After I was just talking about how nice it was turning out. Big mess. And I kind of knew that too. I just put too much glue. All right. Calm yourself. It's gonna be all right. Even that's gonna be all right because we're gonna put our envelopes in there. Cut that off. Skinny, mini. I'm gonna cut this one manually because it's so skinny. I'm gonna use my big scissors. A little straighter. Okay. There. Nice. To hear that nice clacking sound in there. Well, I was really hoping this would be smooth sailing after I took so long watching and figuring out Norma's, and no such luck. Okay, so what we're gonna do with these now is we are gonna glue them in just on this back side. And then I'm gonna make a new end paper that will go right over the top of this. And I think that that will work fine. So where's our spine? That guy in there. And this is really, really pretty much the same as I made the other one. It's just that all the flaps were on the back side here and got covered up by that back page. Whereas here, they will be covered up by my new front end page. And really, it's just an opportunity to do it better, right? that is the base of the book put together. So we've got our pieces. This guy is a little gluey. That flaps out like that. Unfortunately, my flap is showing in there. I can maybe get a little piece of something to cover it up. I'll figure out a way to do that. And we've got all our envelope flaps. So that's putting the structure together the wrong way. In the next video, we'll put together some pockets and add some pockets to all of our envelopes. I'll see if I can figure out a way to cover this guy up. And we will attach our new end paper. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.